Hi, I'm Nadine Charlsen, and today I'm answering your questions. I paint here in my living room. It has become my studio. I also take classes at the Art Students League. I've done some outdoor painting, and I'm going to do more of that in the coming months. I paint as often as I can. I try to paint every day, even if it's for an hour. Some days I paint 8 hours a day. It's what I like to do, and the more I can do it, the happier I am. These are the brushes that I use the most. This is a little travel kit, and it's easy to zip closed, and it's not very big, so I take this with me. And it has a variety of brushes in it that I use. I use watercolor brushes for the main part of the painting, but I also a lot of times use oil or acrylic brushes, which are stiffer. So beyond this, I also have these. And I also have some other brushes that I use, the hockey brush, which is this one, and this, which is, I believe, a stencil brush, but it's great for scrubbing because it's very stiff and you can take off a lot of watercolor in a very short amount of time. But if I have a lot of stuff to scrub off, this is a great brush. These stiff ones that I use to scrub with, and it's got some other variety that I've collected over the years, and sometimes I just feel like using one brush and the next day I feel like using something else. Hockey, H-A-K-E, brushes are really good watercolor brushes, and I use these some as well. I don't use either. I use khadi paper, which is what this is. Khadi is a handmade paper. It's spelled K-H-A-D-I, and it comes from India. And it's very soft. It's 100% rag, and everything just works on it beautifully. I also use Arches 140 rough. I use 140 or higher number in order to get the kind of watercolor I like to do. It's used to introduce color to young people, and it's very hard to control. So they have a tendency to not do very well, and it looks sloppy. And another time it was considered a woman's medium, and it got a bad reputation, especially when oil became so popular. There have been some really wonderful watercolor artists in history that have done watercolor very well, like Turner and Sargent. And as long as you keep watercolor out of direct sunlight, put it under glass, it'll last a long time. It was here long before we had oil painting, and it'll be around long after we quit using some of those toxic mediums. I work from photographs. I start with the photograph, I draw from the photograph, and then once you get the basic detail laid in, the darks and the lights, then you look at it, it's almost an abstract at that point. Then you start playing with the tones within that, and a lot of times it just kind of takes on a life of its own. I try to stay true enough to the photograph that you know where you are, but as I work I try to make it more and more something that I want to have as a painting, not as an illustration of the photograph. Point of no return, that's what this brush is for. This is how you get rid of the point of no return, and you go back and you figure out what you should have done in the first place. That's one of the things I like best about this style of watercolor. I don't have to throw it away if I make a mistake. I can put it away for 6 months, a year, I can bring it out, I can look at it and say, now I know what I need to do to that, scrub it off, take the remnants of what was there and turn it into something that works. My purpose is to enjoy the process of painting and to try to communicate to you and to other people what that photograph really means to me, and hopefully it can be enjoyed by you. It's really when I take the photograph, I have a mood, I have a feeling. I know where I was and what I was feeling at the time I took that. So that automatically is going to come out in the painting. It's just ingrained in what I saw in the photograph. I take thousands of photographs, and when I'm doing a photograph of a picture that I'm pretty sure I want to paint, I do shots from far away, I do shots close up so that I get detail, and then I pick one or more and put them together. Once I have the painting in mind from what I remember of the content that I liked, then it becomes a mood. It becomes making that mood come alive within the painting. I have painted from other people's photographs, and I'm actually working on a series right now from Israel, and I have not been to Israel, but a former student of mine has been there, and we're working on an exhibit together. And it's been difficult because I don't have the same feeling for the photographs because I don't have the mood. So I've had several sessions sitting with the young lady who took the photographs, and we've talked about why she took them, where she took them, what was going on, what time of year, so that I have some sense of the details of the feeling she had when she took the photograph. So I have done some commissions. I can do commissions. I have to really study the photographs, talk to the people, and try to figure out what their feeling is that they want out of that commission. NadinePaints.com. I think you need to see a painting before you buy it. I have work right now that is at the Renaissance Diner in New York City. There are 8 paintings there. There are also 4 paintings at the Perdition Bar and Grill. They're both in Hell's Kitchen. I've done several exhibits at the Berlitz Language Art Gallery. I do a lot of paintings from around the world. And they use the art gallery to take their students that are studying a language down and try to communicate about the paintings. And I'm very happy that they do that with my paintings, and they use them as a tool to learn the language. And my work is also in the Atelier 24 Gallery in Asheville, North Carolina. Thank you so much for your questions. I'll continue to answer them. You can reach me through my website at NadinePaints.com, on Facebook at Nadine Charlsen. See you soon.